Homesteaders, Gardeners, and Cooks. My name is Jennifer. Welcome to Miles Away Farm, or welcome back. In this quick little video today, we are making homemade tahini. And tahini is basically a nut butter made out of sesame seeds. I have several recipes on my channel that call for tahini, and it's very simple. It's used in Asian cooking. This is a Trader Joe's version of tahini, and if you look at the ingredients on this, it says organic tahini, ground whole organic sesame seeds. That's it. So there isn't even salt in this. It's very, very simple. I just recently started making my own homemade ground peanut butter, and it is just absolutely delicious. And I don't know why it has taken me so long to finally try that. And so it dawned on me, why don't I just make my own tahini? Because it's basically the same thing. And I was at my local grocery store the other day, and they had a bag of sesame seeds for, I think I paid like $2.38 or something, really inexpensive for about a cup of sesame seeds. It was 7 ounces. And so I decided I'm just gonna make my own. So threw in the food processor, and you just whip it like you would any kind of nut butter until it turns into a butter. Very, very simple. I'll leave links below to some of the recipes I have that call for tahini, but it is a fantastic ingredient and very delicious. This is probably an $8 or $9 jar of tahini, and this cost me $2.38. So inexpensive to make it yourself. Let's get started. So as I mentioned, I picked this up at my local grocery store. I didn't measure it in volume. It was pretty obviously over a cup. It was 7 ounces of sesame seeds, and sesame seeds can come in hulled or unhulled. Hulled sesame seeds are going to give you a smoother texture. I didn't actually confirm this, but I'm pretty sure these were hulled sesame seeds. They obviously were not organic. They were from India. Sesame seeds can come from many, many different places in the world. And I toasted these just lightly. I didn't want to toast them heavily because they can get bitter if they are over toasted, and they're so tiny that I was worried that they were going to get over toasted in my toaster oven, which is how I toast everything. I never do anything in a skillet. It was a little fiddly to get them off of the tray and into the food processor. And you can see there's just a tiny bit of toast on these, so a little bit of color. Sesame seeds have a natural, slightly bitter flavor, and so that's kind of inherent in tahini, but things can be more or less bitter depending on how the seed was treated and where it came from and where it was grown. I spun these in my food processor for probably about 2 minutes. This is sped way up, obviously. And then I scraped down the bowl. But I wanted you to see the whole process from beginning to end here, because it's gonna look worse before it looks better. It's very chunky and gritty in the beginning. So scraped it down, ground it some more, another probably 2 minutes here. And I ended up adding the extra oil and a little bit of salt because the flavor on this was a little bit bitter, and I thought the salt would maybe help balance that. And the oil was just because it isn't a huge volume in the food processor, and it tends to throw it up against the sides, and then it's not really getting ground. It's just kind of sticking there. And so adding a little bit of extra oil to this loosens it up enough that it's gonna grind a little bit better. Is this the smoothest tahini ever? No, of course not. This is home food processor, and probably a total of about 6 minutes of my time. So not as smooth as like a professional grinder from a big company might be, but certainly very workable, and I had no issues with this. I probably added maybe a tablespoon of avocado oil to this altogether. And you can grow your own sesame seeds. I've actually done that a couple of different times. It's really fun to grow. It's a pretty plant. The one issue with it is the flowers continue to flower up the stalk, kind of like a snapdragon does, and the lowest ones turn into a pod that then has seeds in it, and then when that's mature, it tends to break open and scatter, and that's happening sequentially up the stalk. So it's difficult to harvest everything all at once. They tend to come in a little bit at a time, And evidently the big commercial varieties have been bred for more ripeness all at once, but the kind that I grew, which was from Kitasawa seeds, had a staggered ripening, and so that does make it a little difficult to get any kind of real volume. But they're super fun to try to grow, and it's a really pretty little flower. So here you go, guys. Homemade tahini. I'm going to stick this in my fridge, and I'm kind of expecting there to be a little oil separation over time, but it should hold for a good year and is going to be great in all kinds of hummus and other dishes. If you have a food processor, this is well worth your time and effort, and I don't know why it took me so long to get around to trying this. Give it a try, Tribe. Thanks for watching, Tribe. If you like this kind of content, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, leave me a comment, and share. I have new content coming out every week.